Hello everyone, and welcome to my review of the Drachen Armor Set Alpha. The Drachen set significantly changed builds by offering an extremely efficient way to build Affinity, Crit Boost, and the set bonus skill, Master's Touch. So most players agree that this is a high-tier meta set of armor, but we're going to break down the armor set completely to make more sense of it, because it's also the case that I don't always use pieces of the Drachen Armor set, and we want to know why. Before we start the review, I want to point out that anyone can farm this set off of the behemoth by themselves without having to kill him. I detail this in 2 farming guides, which I'll leave a link to in the comments section. Now let's get started. Beginning with defense and elemental resistance, the Drachen set starts with the typical 72 defense, which scales up to 92 after augmentation. For the total elemental resistance, I simply add them all together, and this leaves me with 1 positive level of resistance, which is nice, except that the set comes with -2 points to fire resistance, which is not nice at all, since a lot of the endgame monsters deal fire. On the plus side, you do get 3 points toward thunder resistance, which is helpful against Arch-Tempered Kieran, assuming you haven't fought him, right? As well as a large 4 dragon resistance that's definitely going to help against Arch-Tempered Senejiva. I mean, as long as you have a way to deal with the hot floor, you really don't need to worry about other forms of fire damage with him. It's typically his beam attacks that deal dragon damage that are going to mess you up after you're done dealing with the hot floor. You can even become skilled enough to just avoid walking on it for the most part. So yeah, actually dragon defense also helps against Arch-Tempered Senejiva, and this set has 4 levels of it. So the Drachen set elemental defense is kind of a mixed bag, which is why I think it deserves to be put into a B+ tier. It's not quite bad enough to be B tier, not quite good enough to be A tier. The fact that it has high elemental resistance to one of the hardest fights in the game, Arch-Tempered Senejiva, really does help it out. At the same time, the negative fire resistance, you never want that because there's just way too many good fire damaging monsters in the game. Next, we move on to rating the set bonus skills. The Drachen set actually gets 2 of them, Elemental Airborne and Master's Touch. Elemental Airborne is incredibly easy to build for, since you can take the Drachen Helmet to build the Airborne skill anyways, right? You want that, and then you'll have several good choices from the rest of the Drachen set to choose from. I don't think Elemental Airborne affects too many weapons other than the Insect Glaive. I mean, you can make an argument for each of them, but Insect Glaive is really the attack where your move's going to have a lot of hits to it, right? And that's really important when you're dealing elemental damage. So I would say that the skill does make aerial attacks on insect glaives considerably more viable, and this is going to help against monsters who have a weakness to insect glaives, like Arch-Tempered Senejiva is another great option, right? We were just talking about how you get the elemental defense against him. Well, you're also getting this bonus elemental damage when you're in the air against him, as well as Lunastro. Lunastro is also pretty weak to aerial attacks from insect glaive as well. I mean, I've played it against her a number of times, and she just takes a lot of damage on her wings from it. I should also point out that this is the only set of armor that offers Elemental Airborne. On top of all that, we're getting the powerful Master's Touch skill, right? This is a big deal, which you'll need to wear 4 pieces of the set for, and that's admittedly a larger commitment than the Teostra Gamma set where you only need 3 pieces. However, the Drachen set armor is pretty good anyways in terms of efficiency on each of the pieces of armor and effectiveness. So now we see a lot of blade builds going right over to the Drachen set in order to access Master's Touch. In the past, this was a Teostra armor set skill, but the old Teostra Alpha Beta sets were really terrible, so there was a trade-off between building for Master's Touch, as well as you would lose out on other skills that you wouldn't be able to afford to build. The thing is, Master's Touch is still really powerful, and it was so strong back then that you would still give up those skills just to build it. Except now, with the Drachen armor set, you don't even have to have that trade-off. Now you can have all the skills you want, and Master's Touch. That's why this set's really so strong. Therefore, the set bonus skill for the Drachen set is going to be an S+ tier rating. Master's Touch is one of the best skills in the game, and Elemental Airborne was basically a straight buff to insect glaives. Okay, and now we'll begin examining the individual pieces of armor to better understand how they rank in their respective armor slot: head, chest, arms, waist, and legs. Starting with the helmet, Drachen Armor Alpha, it comes with 1 level of crit boost, 1 level of airborne, and a large decoration slot and a small decoration slot. The first thing I want to point out is that for insect glaives, this is basically a top priority helmet, particularly if you intend to use aerial attacks, though I understand some insect glaive users don't use this, so maybe for them they're not too concerned about it. Basically, when you do include airborne as part of the effectiveness of the helmet, you can see that it offers more build efficiency than even the Dragon King eye patch, which means it's one of those helmets pushing the meta forward. On the other hand, if you don't need airborne, the story kind of changes, and this helmet becomes one of the 2 pieces of the Draken set that you might decide to skip, right? You only need 4 pieces. And it boils down to what do you want to substitute, the head slot or the waist slot, since the coil is typically the other piece of armor that people will give up. So for the helmet, you could drop this and go with the Nergigante helmet. In the waist slot, you might drop that and go with the Zor Spine Gamma, Kushala Cocoon Gamma, or the Valhazak Coil Gamma, something like that, right? For the Draken helmet, we're going to give it an S tier rating for being optimal on aerial insect glaive builds, as well as staying on the build if you decide to skip the waist slot. I would have considered giving it an S+ tier rating if it was just straight better than all the other helmets, but I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think you see people taking things like the Nergigante helmet in that armor slot sometimes. Next, we examine the chest piece Draken Mail Alpha, which gives us 1 level of critical boost, 2 levels of critical eye, and 1 large decoration slot. Even though this chest piece has lower efficiency than the Empress Mail Beta, Zora Hide Gamma, or even the Damascus Mail Beta, it's still really impressive because it's the most efficient way to build both critical boost and critical eye in the chest slot. Those other chest pieces I mentioned don't give you critical boost, and you may not want or need the other skills that they offer. For example, with the Emperor's Mail, peak performance is only useful after you've brought your affinity high enough to justify 3 levels of critical boost. Well, with Deviljho weapons, that doesn't really happen, so you don't want peak performance. Therefore, this chest piece gives us the meta for building damage with a lot of melee weapons, and you're going to find that this is true for some other parts of the Draken set as well. The Draken Mail gets placed into S+ tier. Alright, and now we have the Draken Vambraces Alpha, which, similar to the Draken Mail, they don't just offer another level for Master's Touch, they're also the meta for building damage in the arm slot. Notice you get 1 level of attack boost, 2 levels of critical eye, and 2 medium decoration slots. Only a few other arm pieces come this close in terms of build efficiency, and they don't offer critical eye and attack boost. This includes the Lunastra Gamma arms, Kushala Grip Gamma, and the Valhazak Braces Gamma, which I think are closest in terms of efficiency ranking with the Draken Vambraces. Because of the effectiveness of the default skills, as well as the build efficiency for these Vambraces, we're going to go ahead and place them into S+ tier as well. Okay, and then we have the Draken Coil Alpha, which comes with 1 level of Power Prolonger, 2 levels of Critical Eye, and 1 large decoration slot. It's basically a straight upgrade from the Odogaron Coil, but only if you needed Power Prolonger, which to this day I still don't use. I would love it if one of you guys could explain to me in the comment section if there are any builds that absolutely have to use Power Prolonger in order to optimize their damage output. Let me know if you would need this to be able to get a real speedrun in, one where you actually beat other people. I know Insect Glaive can benefit from Power Prolonger, and then I'm also guessing the Switch Axe, but I don't know of any others, and I don't use Switch Axe, and I don't use the Charge Blade. Otherwise, we're going to put the Draken Coil into B tier. I never use this coil unless I'm trying to build Master's Touch. You guys are welcome to try and convince me that Power Prolonger is more important of a skill than I currently think it is. But even then, the Draken Coil would face pretty stiff competition from the Xeno'jiiva Gamma set, thanks to the Xeno'jiiva helmet and the Xeno'jiiva arms from that. Finally, we have to look at the Draken Leggings, which fit right in with the rest of the set. You'll notice they come with 1 level of crit boost, 2 levels of attack boost, and 1 medium decoration slots. If you really think of the efficiency of these leggings, they're pretty close to being average. You've got crit boost, which is a medium decoration, and then 1 medium decoration slot that you can add anything to, and then you've got the 2 levels of attack boost, which would, those would be small decorations. You see this all the time on popular leggings such as the Kirin Legs Beta, or how about the Xeno'jiiva Spurs Gamma. One of my criticisms of the Draken Greaves, though, is that you're stuck with the 2 levels of attack boost. Those are fine on builds where you wanted to build attack boost, but there are plenty of endgame monsters now where you might have preferred using those 2 slots for something like health boost or protection, or some kind of resistance. And really, I think that's the only thing holding these back, is the fact that you're forced to take attack boost. It's not such a bad thing having your small decoration slots being taken up by the attack boost skill. It's just a case where some other leggings have more flexibility, yet the same amount of efficiency. So you would typically find yourself reaching for these because you want to build, once again, 4 pieces of the Drachen set in order to access Master's Touch. At least they make it possible for a lot of players who don't have the attack boost decorations a way to reach level 4 with that skill, right? Like, you could combine these with the Nergigante coil and you're done, or you could combine these with the Drachen arms and 1 attack boost decoration, and once again, you're done. You've reached level 4. Alright, so the score for the legs is going to be an A. They're acceptable in many ways, but you can see that the Zenigeva Spurs Gamma are basically a direct upgrades in terms of flexibility. That is, you're allowed to put anything you want into the small decoration slots on the Zenigeva Spurs. Let's go ahead and tally up the score for the Drachen Armor set. We gave the Drachen Armor a B+ for defense. It's bad for fire, but hey, at least it's got good dragon defense for Arch-Tempered Zenigeva. The Elemental Airborne and Master's Touch set bonus skills together got an S+. Then the helmet received an S tier rating, the chest got an S+ tier rating, the arms got an S+ tier rating, the coil only got a B, though my mind could change on that, and the leggings got an A. That makes the total score for the Drachen Armor set a solid S-. Stay tuned for the Nergigante Gamma set review, as well as the Kulvtaroth Gamma set review. I'll have those up whenever those armors become available. If you want to show your appreciation, consider liking and sharing the video. This is the end of the review. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.